On Tuesday, the gospel music world lost one of its greatest singers, Chicago soprano DeLois Barrett Campbell. She was the eldest of the three Barrett Sisters, a trio that began performing in the early 60s. Campbell spent much of her life in the West Chesterfield neighborhood on the South Side, a community that was home to Mahalia Jackson, Sam Cooke, Dinah Washington, and Thomas A. Dorsey. Now, from the 1991 WTTW production, Just Plain Hard Working, here's a look back at the life of DeLois Barrett Campbell.
DeLois Barrett Campbell has long been one of the shining lights of gospel music. Born and raised on Chicago's South Side, DeLois and her sisters, Billy and Rhodessa, the Barrett Sisters, are one of the world's leading gospel groups.
I'm going to my home. We love to sing. We started when just little young girls harmonizing in my home, my daddy's home. We're full-blooded sisters. We're 7th, 8th, and 9th children. I'm the oldest of the three. We've been singing for, I'll claim, 40 years with them. We couldn't see. We're from an old religious family. Our background is very religious. My daddy was a deacon in the Baptist church, and my mother was a missionary. So we were steered to this, to be with the Lord. My daddy was a strict old man. We didn't have any Lionel Hamilton or any of those records in the home. We had strictly church music in our home. When I was in high school, my voice was discovered by one of the teachers, and I ended up singing for our grammar school graduation. I actually graduated from high school and went immediately on the road with the Roberta Martin Singers. We would go and stay in one church for maybe 1 or 2 weeks because we wasn't actually singing concerts, we were doing revivals, which meant that we had a minister to come in and he would preach and we would do the singing. We're climbing up the ladder round by round. We're too high now.
In 1962, DeLois left the Roberta Martin Singers and began performing with her sisters. By the late 60s, the trio had released many record albums. Their popularity soared.
Most of the churches didn't want gospel singers in there, or gospel singing, because they felt that it was so closely to the rock and roll or to blues. They didn't like the hand clapping, they didn't like the patting of the feet, so therefore they didn't want to have any parts of it. Well, now they love it. Then my living shall not be in vain. When I'm up singing, I'm really trying to communicate to the audience. I'm trying to tell them a story. I'm trying to give them something to think about, something that they can feed on, something that they can live, let them know that there is a brighter day, even though it's dark now. But there is a brighter day yet to come. If I can spread love's message. So many minds are confused because of dope, because of alcohol. It's raging. Our kids are going astray. I had a son to die from an overdose of dope because he was out in the world. He was 23 years old. And he had everything to live for, but he preferred going that way. My living shall not be I believe that our time is winding up. We may sing a few more years, and then we may sing more. I don't know. I told the people when I was in Europe last year that I will come to Europe as long as I can walk. So maybe I'll be singing as long as I can get a tune out. I don't know.
DeLois Barrett Campbell died on Tuesday at the age of 85. Again, that profile of Ms. Campbell was from 1991.